Interesting. What else?
How do you guys feel about Squirtle? People tend to rate him fairly low, but I feel like he has a lot of potential with his movement options. Are there any weaknesses I'm not seeing? I feel like Squirtle does have a good amount of potential in his movement options. He can do lots of crazy stuff, kind of similar to Sonic, that like most characters just can't do. So a lot of people will get caught off guard by that alone.
I agree.
But overall, he doesn't have very like long-range moves, so he hit the impetus is kind of on him to get in on his opponent, and he's not really that great at that. So he has some fairly polarizing matchups where his opponents can just kind of put out moves. And it's difficult for him to deal with it.
Yep. I agree. Who is Lucario really good against? Lucario is good against fat characters that he can combo really well. I think he's really against like DK, Day-to-Day. Not as much Day-to-Day. And just characters he can get on and on. I think he's actually pretty good against Spaceys. He's bad against characters with huge hitboxes like Marth, Roy, that can just kind of zone him out. Because if he can't get in, his neutral game is kind of subpar. So if he struggles against a character getting in, he's like never gonna be able to do damage. Because he has nothing to poke at with from neutral except a really slow projectile. Yeah, big characters, I guess.
Combo fodder.
Combo fodder, yeah, or fast fallers. I'd say he's pretty good against Bowser, DK, Ganon, Fox, Falco. Wolf is harder for him than Fox and Falco. He's amazing against Ices because you get double aura buildup against them.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's really cool. You hit them both with F Smash and you like have aura already. Have an aura charge, it's crazy. He's good against slow characters. Pretty good against Zelda, I would say. He's pretty good against Sheik. Link is hard for him. I think he's pretty good against Jigglypuff, actually, and pretty good against Luigi, because while most characters can't combo those characters well, Lucario actually can, which is very different, and it's really unintuitive and weird, but he can combo them. He can also combo Samus, and just like those weird, hard-to-combo characters.
Geth Drips asking, can you do the thing where you hit Link's bomb midair with Zair? I love seeing that, but I have no idea if it has a specific name.
That is called bomb punting, and actually,
is that what it's called now? I have no idea.
that's what the Link boards call it, and I believe I discovered this.
Yes, you're the first person I saw.
I don't know of any other Link, like every Link player does it now, but you
I
just.
haven't seen Aerolink do it, or any of the DFW Links do it in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Just too focused on throwing boomerangs.
Just do it on the sad days. Yeah. I have a double bomb punt and there's a triple bomb punt, but the triple one is too hard, so I'll only do the double one. But yeah, it's just you have to fade back and press Z. It's really cool because you just run after it and it's like in an arc, and you can get to their shield around the same time the bomb does, or you can get in range of their shield around the same time the bomb does. Whereas if you just throw it normally, you can't.
So cool.
Dude, the double is amazing. Because, let me pause during it. Okay. I paused during this. Bombs are just approaching you everywhere during the double. Look at this, it's crazy. Like, yeah, it's scary as fuck when Link. Okay, there, I got the perfect pause. So the one on the ground, as you can see, this is the perfect double bomb. The one on the ground is about to blow up, and then one on the top, it will hit them if they jump. So
yeah, they're basically just forced to shield if they're down in that quarter.
yeah, and then you just run up to them and do whatever. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That is just like a perfect. You can see like Link like perfectly in between the two bombs.
Yeah.
Alright. That's enough of that.
See, so not so shy guy asking Sethlon, how do you define tournament jitters? So tournament jitters, as most people would know, is basically what happened to the pressure of tournament matches get to you. Yeah, I'm sure what you're referring to is the shout out I gave after King of the House. Yeah, if you haven't been to a lot of tournaments, this is something that a lot of like people that just sit at home and watch games don't really understand. They're like, oh, why are these people not playing perfectly? It's because the pressure is extremely hard to deal with. It's very nerve-wracking to be in a game against a other physical opponent that you might not ever get to play again in your entire life, and especially when there's like money on the line and there's pride on the line and there's respect on the line. The pressure will get to you, and that will very much affect your play, sometimes very, very negatively.
Do you still get tournament jitters?
Yes, I do.
Even after playing for so long? I don't get them that much anymore. I don't know why.
I'm better at dealing with them now.
Right. Yeah, I guess I do sometimes when I'm playing someone I've never played before. I like never get them when I play people I've played a lot, which I guess is why I never get them, because I've played like everyone I play pretty often, but when I play new people, yeah, I agree.
Pretty much the only way to get better at this is just play in more high-pressure situations more, which usually means just going to more tournaments or doing money matches.
And just like learning how to calm yourself down, too. If you're like freaking out, like I usually just like exhale like a large breath. If my hands start shaking, I'll just like breathe out, and that usually stops my hand from shaking. Husa. More questions.
Let's see. Golden CEO asking any Samus tips. You might be able to. I don't know if that's the thing you'd be able to cover, Hylian.
I'm not that great with Samus and Project M. She can double super wave dash. It's cool.
Basically, just go watch any of Samus vids.
Yes.
She does incredibly technical stuff with the character. Very, very interesting situation.
Double missiles are good. Down tilt up air combos with fire are good. Grad down throw is really good now. Watch Sam. I can just say generic stuff that probably won't help you that much. Do you still think Fox is the best character? Personally, I don't. I do think Fox is the best character. I think he has the most options in neutral. And that Frame 1 Shine gives him a lot of mileage. I do think he might have some losing matchups, though, which is different from Melee. For example, I think Mewtwo could beat Fox. What about you, Sethlon?
Personally, I still think Fox is probably the best character in the game. Probably not by anywhere near as big a margin as he was in Melee, but he's still extremely fast, extremely powerful, and has like the best shield pressure in the game. So when you put those things all together onto one character, like he is much easier to kill now with a lot of the newer characters, but he's still incredibly good.
Black Behemoth, do you have any recommended button settings, like tap, jump, off? Personally, I use default controls. Just sort of gone over this. We both played Melee so long, we kind of just play with default, but maybe map footstool to something easier to hit than the D-pad, like Y if you don't use Y or X if you don't use X, but I don't really recommend turning off tap jump. I know a lot of people do, but things like up smash out of shield and up B out of shield are much easier when you don't have to jump cancel them first. So like using up B out of shield, I guess with like Marth or something, you would just press up and B instead of pressing jump and then up and B if you had tap jump off. And I think learning the game with tap jump on gives you better stick control, which is really important for like micro adjustments in neutral and just like being good at the game in general. Learning how to do those really small, precise movements with your fingers is pretty important, and I don't think taking a shortcut for that is easier, unless you play a character like Game & Watch, where having tap jump off is almost necessary because he has to attack up his up B.
That's actually what I was about to say, is that there are, I think, some character situations where you may want to consider turning tap jump off. Game & Watch is definitely one of them, since you can actually double jump after his up B if you don't burn your double jump while doing the up B. And one of the things, if you have tap jump on, you press up all the way and up B, even just for one frame, your double jump will start, and then you'll cancel it with your
Yeah,
up B.
it's really hard to up B without double jumping all the time.
And you can do similar thing with like Zero Suit Samus.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are some character situations where, depending on who you play, you may want to turn jump off. But in most cases, I think it'd be better to keep it on.
Yep.
Let's see. Zetrox is asking, is Randall blocking tether recoveries intentional or a bug that is going to be fixed? I will say that that is not intentional. It is a bug. Whether or not it is going to be or can be fixed, I'm not at liberty.
I think it's already better than it used to be. Used to be worse. I know Ivy could never like up B the stage before, now she can. But maybe I'm just having placebo stuff. Yeah, it's definitely something we'll try to fix. I don't know if I can say if we have anything at this moment for it.
It's definitely something that we want to fix.
Yes. Can Luigi moonwalk? I'm trying right now, and it might just be my timing if it's not working for me. I don't know if Luigi can moonwalk. I'll try. I doubt it. His traction is like... Yes, he can moonwalk. It is probably the smallest moonwalk I've ever seen, though. There. Yeah, that's what it should look like. Oh god. Somehow taunted in the middle of the moonwalk. Yeah, he can moonwalk. There's no point, though. Don't learn it.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say don't learn it, but
You can learn it.
don't learn it and expect it to be a thing.
Yeah, you could jump backwards and get the same distance, probably.
If you want to have something fun to do in between, like your opponent's stocks.
Yeah. If you can go further than I could, then kudos. I'm pretty good at moonwalking. What's up, Hylian? What's up, Black? How is a Roy versus Sheik matchup, Sethlon?
It is an interesting matchup. In Melee, it wasn't so bad because, despite the fact, well, I'll put it in Nintendo.
Unless you're playing Sauce.
A lot of Sheiks that I ran into whenever playing Melee Roy didn't actually chain grab me, whether it's because they didn't have the timing down or because they didn't want to use cheap tactics or whatever. They would just do like down throws and forward tilt combos, etc. And if your Sheik, your opponent does not actually chain grab you, the matchup isn't so bad. Roy can just kind of play my turtley down tilty wave dash around and stay on the ground game, and Sheik has a really hard time just hitting him because down tilt has so much range, and Sheik's attacks can basically all be crouch canceled. And yeah, he can play defensive, and it's difficult for Sheik to get in on him. In Project M, I'm not really sure. I feel like it's a fairly even matchup. Roy can still play his down tilty turtley game, but he's a bit better at doing other things now, so I'm not sure if that'd be the optimal way to play against Sheik. And now that she can still get really mean throw combos off of Roy, and she can kill Roy basically instantly if Roy doesn't DI like a single move correctly. Like getting forward, like down throwed and then slapped, Roy can basically just die. Like, that's it. Your stock's over. So it's a very volatile matchup.
Those do exist.
Yes, they do.
Alright, Hylian, what capture card are you using? I'm using a GTX 760, which is not a capture card. I'm not using a capture card, that's all I'll say. Technically everyone can moonwalk, it's not useful for everyone or visible. Yeah, that is true.
See, Negal asking any tips for someone wanting to break in determinant play. Practice a lot, look up videos of the character you want to learn how to play as, and do not expect to win when you go to your
No, you definitely need to realize you are bad.
Not even necessarily realizing that you're bad, but that you will be losing a lot to gain information.
Yes.
The very first tournament I went to, I got dead last.
Me too.
Yeah.
I also got dead last time I ran this.
Oh, yeah?
Well, technically it was my second tournament. My first tournament was a GameStop tournament. I got second in with Takal. Got first. We were good noobs. I was like, yeah. And then went to a Third Coast Gaming Invitation. It was like 200 people, and got last.
Yeah, a lot of people they play their friends and they get like the sort of the best person on their block attitude, and then they get beat by people who played against the best players in the world for several years in a row and get discouraged.
Yeah.
The one thing to keep in mind is that you're playing against the best people in the world who have played for many, many years.
Yeah, definitely don't let your ego prevent you from getting better, and don't get discouraged because you thought you were certainly good. And if you do really well, like, that's awesome. That just means you are pretty naturally talented and you should improve fast. And if you don't do well, that's fine too. That's 99% of the Smash community gets last at their first tournament, so that is perfectly normal, and you can still become amazing at the game. So don't worry. You just need to go to tournaments, and going and getting that experience is the most important part.
Yeah, Stereo went to me asking, Sethlon, considering you're a top player, do you ever participate in balance changes and regret them later? Well, I don't really participate in balance changes any more than any other person in the PMBR. There might be a little bit more weight attached to my name just because there aren't as many people that can commentate on such a high level. But as far as regretting them, not really. I mean, there have been some mistakes that I've made that I have regretted, but I don't think they have any relation to me being a top player. It's just things didn't work out as I was hoping they would. But not very often. Things have gone fairly well as far as I'm concerned.
I can sort of speak on that as well. Like, I mean, there's always balanced decisions that maybe people have small regrets because they just don't turn out the way they want, but often that is fixed before it goes into a public build.
Usually.
So it doesn't happen as often as you would think in like public builds. So then there are obviously situations that people don't realize, like past versions, Sonic, Ivysaur, like stuff, Lucario, stuff like that. But that's all I'm gonna say about that. Hylian, Nick Joe 1. Hylian, how do you up B so fast off stage after moonwalking? I press up B as soon as I fall off the stage. Sticks practice.
Let's see, Defective Falcon asking for any cool gimmicks with Mr. Game & Watch. None immediately come to mind other than saving your double jump for after you up B. But if you look up other Game & Watch players, I'm sure.
Dakpo. Does he
Yes.
play anymore? I haven't seen him in...
He's been busy with college. He's actually just finishing up his semester in a little bit, so he's going to be playing a lot more. But he's been busy with that, so he hasn't been to stuff lately. Nintendo also plays a pretty mean Game & Watch from what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he just picked up Game & Watch, I think. And he's done really well with him. Game & Watch is very glass cannon-y, super amazing combos, dies at 10% character.
Yes. Void Knight 20, Sethlon, do you have any tips for spacing Roy's bear? As I mentioned, the hitboxes are up in the frame data thread in the Roy section on Smashboard, so if you want to actually see the hitboxes, they're there. How I try to imagine it is just like similar to how characters like Fox have like the sweet spot nair. If you just activate the nair when you're already on top of your opponent, you get the really strong hit. That's basically how I think of Roy's bear. Kind of like I'm chest bumping them rather than hitting the sword itself. Is the easiest way to get the sweet spot. Obviously for opponents that are where you can get that close. But yeah, the range is very short. You just have to practice doing it.
Run DMX asks, how do you approach hardcore campers with no projectiles? I have projectiles in all my characters, so... Come on!
Depends on your character. I mean, if you're playing a character like...
Meta Knight? Say Meta Knight.
Like Meta Knight, you can just kind of dash at them, and his dash speed is so incredible that you can just rush them down. For a character like Roy, who's got like a middling movement speed, I mean, you have to kind of take it a little bit slower and wait until you get pressure on them and just...
Yeah, Roy dash out of shield is very good. Learn
Very
Wave Dash at a shield. It's useful against almost every projectile.
yes.
Actually, I would say every projectile is pretty useful. You just have to you can't always do the same thing when your shield gets hit by projectiles, otherwise your opponent's gonna just kill you if they catch on. But it's an extremely useful tool. Get really good at it. Get really good at it. It'll help you with projectiles a lot, and learn to power shield. Practice that.
Yes.
Oh,
Golden CEO asking where's a good place to watch ESAM stuff. If you just YouTube ESAM, you should get a decent amount of stuff.
well, he does have a ton of brawl stuff, so it might be overshadowed by that. Look up Esam Samus. Yeah, I just Esam. Look at Video Game Bootcamp. Has a bunch of videos of him playing MDVA. Can't talk. Those were some good matches. He played against Chillin. I haven't seen that yet, but I heard it was good.
Let's see.
Go ahead.
Meikui, Sethlon, how do you feel about Melee Roy? I have very mixed feelings about Melee Roy because I played him for 8 years. I really enjoy the character, but he's just so miserably bad. It really took like playing as Project M Roy and then trying to go back to Melee Roy to realize just how bad Melee Roy is. I actually entered into a Melee tournament playing straight Roy a little while back, and it was probably the most miserable thing I've ever done in my life.
Wow. Had a pretty good life. No.
No, it's just that miserable.
Wow.
So yeah, like he's personally, I can't do it anymore. Yeah, I feel like he's still fairly good against some of the top tier characters. Like he can do really mean stuff to space animals with like down tilts and F smashes and the up throw combos. And Falcon is still a fairly decent matchup, in my opinion, but he is definitely not what I would call a viable character.
Yeah. All right. Case Rick. Do you know much about Mario versus Falco or Fox? Mario seems like he'd be pretty good against Falco and Fox, especially in PM. He has an up throw chain grab on both characters. He combos them both super hard, vertically, and kind of horizontally. Down throw combos into several things like up tilt, up smash. You can do down throw, up smash at 0%, I believe, into regrab. He edge guards them super hard. Yeah, he's just really solid. Watch Pikachu's Mario versus some Spaceys. That guy knows what he's doing.
Absolutely. See, the civilized Yoshi, Seth and Hylian, was there ever a point where you plateaued or had a mental block that you seemed to not get over with for a while? Any advice other than just the usual answer of practice? I don't know if you want to take this up first.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely plateaued, especially in Melee, more than Project M. In Project M, there's so many, like, new characters and stuff. I always feel there's stuff I'm learning. But in Melee, I definitely remember plateauing. And, when you're plateauing, it's a really hard question to answer. It's different for every person, I feel like, things you can do to get better. Some people just need to take breaks. Some people might need to just play different people, watch videos of different people. Try to just theorycraft a lot, because if the point where you plateau is probably the point where you're going to be extremely comfortable with all of your tech skill options. If you're practicing daily and you're comfortable with all of those options, and you don't feel you're improving much, it can be hard, man. There's also a sense of false plateauing where you can be getting better, but the people you're playing against are also getting better, and you're just not realizing that. So try watching some of your older videos if you're playing the same people, and watch some of your newer videos and seeing if you're doing anything different. Just try to be creative as well. Try to come up with new things. Maybe even try out bad things that don't work and see if you can find useful spots for them. That's all the advice I have so far.
Yeah, I think what works surprisingly a lot of time is actually just taking breaks. A lot of time whenever people plateau or have a mental block, it's because they're just trying to beat their head against the wall and do the same thing over and over, and it's very difficult to get out of that rhythm. And taking breaks will often break you out of that, which is why if you've seen, like I've seen it happen a lot, where people just stop playing Smash for a while and then come back and they're just inexplicably better than they were before. I feel that's often the reason why. Wobbles actually did make a post about that on Compete Complete. If you want to check that out, I felt it was pretty good.
One foul, how do you play Dolphin with your controller? And also Hylian shows your controller. You do this. Oh gosh. Need to change overlay. Oh, isn't working. One sec. Oh yeah, it is working. This is my controller. I use this. This is exactly what it says, GameCube controller adapter for PC with USB. It is the Mayflash adapter. You can buy that on Smashboards.com even. It's like $20. How did you guys learn to L-cancel? We both learned a really long time ago in like 2004 or something. So it just takes practice. Just practice. Any like how to learn this, how to learn that, unless it's like really complicated. Really, you just have to do it like 500 million times until you can do it.
Pretty much, till it's just second nature.
What do you do as Ivysaur against a dash dancing opponent? Since side B has so much startup in PM 3.0. The same, I don't know, it's kind of the same thing you do with any character. Ivysaur actually has a good projectile to approach with. A lot of characters don't even have projectiles, so you just kind of have to learn the neutral game. Bait out their approaches with your own dash dances or wave dashes. Just pay attention to their spacing. You don't want to rely on your projectile. If you're relying entirely on your projectile neutral, then there are definitely facets of the game that you can improve that will help you. Sethlon, do you have any Mewtwo tips for Shawls?
Mewtwo tips?
Yeah. Because I don't.
Some. I mean, I've played a bit of Mewtwo. Like learning how to control his hover correctly is a really big part of his play. Like teleport approaches are really good. Figuring out when you can do like Shadow Ball into teleport fairs. Very strong stuff. I don't play Mewtwo too much myself. This is probably another one where we'll say go watch X player and you'll learn more from watching them than you would from us talking. Mewtwo King, Emu Killer. There's a couple other good Mewtwo's out there as well. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Yeah. Boss, Aru Live. I'm a complete newcomer to the Smash games. What should I do to get started? Go watch Street Fighter's Guide to Smash. Just go watch that. I go over for very new people, like just picking up the game. Just go watch that. I'll help you out. We're really behind on questions. Try to answer these a little bit faster.
Yeah, I've been trying to go a little bit ahead to get the...
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
So yeah, Ngoos95. Hylian Sethlon, how do you like to practice item control? I don't actually practice item control at all myself. I don't know if you do, Hylian.
I mean, I only practice stuff with Link that involves bombs, but I already feel I'm extremely proficient at item control, so I don't practice it anymore.
Yeah, that is one of the reasons why I don't practice it myself. Basically, just pick a Diddy as your computer opponent, have him throw out a banana, and then mess around with it. See when you can pick it up for a wave dash, how far away you have to be. Practice instant throwing off of platforms. It's
something that really helps having another real person with too. If you both want to practice instant throwing stuff at each other, it helps. Yeah, I remember when playing Sethlon, he was one of the only other people like close to my level of item control, and we would throw bombs back and forth.
Yes. And
it was really fun because I rarely get to do that with people because the bomb will just hit them.
Funny story. There's at an Oklahoma tournament that I was at a few months ago. I was playing against Oracle. And Oracle had just finished playing against Denty, and it was like a super nail-biting, Denty playing on the ledge 95% of the time, really long matches. Oracle was really stressed out. So we were just kind of messing around our first game in tournament, and against his Rob, and he throws out a gyro, and I run forward, and I wave dash back to pick it up. I'm like, yeah, this is mine now. Like run around and use side Bs and neutral Bs as attacks, so I can still keep the gyro up and fight a little bit more. And his Rob hits me with something, and then he hits me with a boost down air off stage.
Uh-huh.
And I meteor cancel with the double jump, but I'm way too low. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, well, I'm just dead. Wait, I have this gyro in my hand. And so I aerial glide toss the gyro upwards, and then up B, and barely make it back to the stage, and end up taking the first stock.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember playing JC's the first time, but he used gyro a ton, and I would always just instant throw him back at him instantly. And I remember one time I hit him twice. I instant threw it, it bounced off him, and I grabbed it after it hit him and comboed it into another instant throw forward. And he was like, Jesus Christ, I should just not use gyro against you. I was like, yep. I love items. Items are super fun. You should definitely get good with them.
Yes.
They're anyone who's like complaining about item characters, if it's a throwable item, they're probably not as good with items as they could be. It helps a lot. The reason people complain about like Falco Laser and Link's Boomerang is because you cannot catch them. And it's much harder
You
to
could
play
instant
against.
throw Link's Boomerang back at them.
Dude, we should just do that. I mean, best change ever. I'd be fine with it. Okay.
Torabanto, Sethlon, how does it feel not being held back by a crappy character now? Being able to play as a viable Roy is the happiest thing I have ever experienced.
Yeah. When we were developing Roy, and he wasn't released yet, I actually got to play against Sethlon for a long time, and it was really fun. I can just tell you I was happy playing like a good character. I was like, God, Sethlon's gonna destroy people when Roy comes out.
Johnny Vu, Sethlon have been playing a lot of Roy. In what situations do you think his side B is best used? I did bring that up earlier in the in our little chat. It's useful as an anti-air since it hits really high, like at a 45-degree angle, and it's useful for like for frame traps whenever your opponent's in their shield if you want to hit them out of their double jump or a roll or something. Those are its main uses.
Mm-hmm.
And for recovery, of course.
Any interesting IC options? The Civilized Yoshi asks. Yeah, the ICs actually on big characters have a down throw, side B chain grab, and it's very interesting. They have on most melee and brawl desyncs. They have so much stuff to cover. That's all I'm really gonna say for now, though. I might do an episode specifically on character text later. Several people asking for Samus tips. We already gave Samus tips to the best of our knowledge. Watch you some.
People asking how to correctly pronounce Hylian, whether it's Helian or...
No, it's Hylian. There's no E. It would be Helian if there's an E in there. English, phonetically, and like in the actual language, it is pronounced Hylian. So please stop trolling me. It's Hyli, not Healy. It's Hyli.
Let's see, Hylian, what are the uses for Ganon up tilt?
Up tilt is really interesting. It has 2 hitboxes and does like 30 damage at both hit. So it's huge like damage read. The first hitbox actually hits behind him as well, and it'll pull people into the second hitbox. So it can be pretty surprising. But overall it has kind of like the same use as a lot of his other moves, and that's just throwing out a giant, really scary hitbox that people have to be really aware of, and you can't really like combo into it too well. So it would just have to be used off like a read and neutral or as like a threatening space option.
I've seen people use it to cover the tech in place option at
Yeah.
side B.
Mm-hmm.
Since it hits so often, like around his body, you can just step where you think they're going to be whenever they're teching in and just do the up tilt.
There you go. Oh god, I'm so behind. Okay, we already answered that. Alright, I just found the Hylian question. Hello, Blake. That question was easy. uh, Ganon needs wave landing like a Muffo. Yes, Ganon does need wave landing. It is very essential to his slow moveset. Wave landing is actually very good for slow characters. It's really good for Link as well. Link is the second shortest wave dash, so wave landing like extends it kind of and keeps his movement fluid.
To jump back a little ways, Nigglety is asking, is it possible to be competitive without wave dash? There are some characters who can get by without it at like a low to mid level, like Jigglypuff and Wario spend so much time in the air and have so much aerial ability that they can kind of jump around and kind of pretend that they don't have to deal with the ground game. But I feel like if you ever want to get to the top level, you absolutely need to.
Yeah, there is no top level player who does not wave dash. Like, there's like no top level player who isn't technical, melee at least. So
yeah, Hungry Box was the closest thing for a while, but even he is.
But even then, like, he still has like crazy jab reset and like those rest precisions. Like he is really technical in the spacing department. His character just doesn't require like brute tech skill. Hylian was my first word. Okay.
Well, I guess if you want to show off some tech skill, Hylian, can you show us the wall jumping with Beerville, the thing where you climb the wall?
I can show you that. It is really hard though. It's like 6 freaking inputs over and over again. But I'm really good at it in game, but I'm not as good at it recovering for some reason. I'm really good at it recovering. I'm not as good as just on this wall. I just did it pretty well. Basically, you just, I mean, you do what you see. You have to do them really fast to climb though, because the wall jumps stale, so they don't go as high each time you do it. And the fact that Onsa can get over the wall is crazy to me. Now I'm like climbing down the wall. If you can hear my controller, it's so many button inputs. Really fast.
So characters that should be able to do that would be obviously Lucario,
Diddy.
Sheik, Diddy Kong. I believe Squirtle can with his spear version of Beam.
Can it?
But
maybe.
I don't think I've seen it, but in theory.
Mario could get pretty high, but not super high. Not as high as the other characters.
Yoshi Force asking, are they going to fix Yoshi's slide parry? I have to confess, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, we're working on fixing his parry and stuff. That's some technical stuff though, so let's see. God, just got to the item control question. Hey Hylian, me and a buddy are hosting a tournament near St. Louis. We have a huge venue. We want to run every game. We don't usually play melee, so if you help out or interested, let me know. I am interested. Send me a message on Smashboards or on Twitch. How do you think Ivysaur is currently in terms of character design? Sethlon?
I think we did touch on that a little bit earlier.
Oh, yeah, did.
Polarizing, but fairly good, much better than 2.6, that's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Hylian, your shirt is amazing. Yes, Magfest is amazing. If you've not been to Magfest, I highly recommend going. At least once in your life. What's up?
Hylian, did you paint your controller yourself? Is another question.
I did not paint my controller. These are decals. So no. This controller was painted. I also have another controller here, which I also did not paint myself. And this was painted by my ex. And it's kind of like destroyed now because I used it so much. But no, I don't know how to paint controllers. I did put the decals on them, but they're just decals and not paint. Hey Seth, I don't think I've ever heard the sound effects for Roy when he gets hit. He sounds like a truck. Was that removed?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
As far as I know, all of the sound effects are the same.
I would love to have Skull create a Smash 4, but he's an assist trophy. I agree, he is my most wanted character for Smash 4, but he's an assist trophy, so that sucks. Chain grab just for strong bad. Yes, I have a chain grab just for strong bad. With ice climbers. It's my anti-strong bad technology. And it's amazing. Okay, any advice on drop canceling aerials? Do you mean ledge canceling aerials? Or just... I can try to encompass that, I guess. There are two things you could mean. Drop canceling, like what it sounds like, isn't really canceling, and that would just be falling through a platform after using an aerial. This is actually an extremely good tactic that I first noticed being used by like Mewtwo King in like 2005. And it's just falling through a platform as soon as you land into another aerial. It's like really good for like Fox in air or Fox back air as well. I don't know if that's what you mean, but it's really good to do that. If you mean ledge slipping, that is just spacing your move so that you hit the edge of the stage as you fall off of it. And in Project M, you can actually hold towards the stage and you'll still be on it as well. So you can do things like down air to forward smash, like on the platform, with like Marth, without even falling off of it, like that.
You could actually do that in Melee as well.
Oh, you could? Okay. I thought that was a brawl thing. And, or you could just fall off into an aerial if you keep holding the same direction. Another aerial, so you're like forwarder, like faster than you could normally. Or like downer, etc. Doing anything really. It's kind of fun to practice. It's really good to practice it just so you don't kill yourself. A lot of people will kill themselves because they'll air dodge or put themselves in a horrible position because they'll try to L cancel and they'll air dodge and then they'll ledge slip. And because they tried to L cancel and they ledge slips, they'll already be in a neutral state, so they'll just air dodge in the middle of the stage and then they'll get punished, or they'll do it off stage and die. So it's good to practice ledge slipping even if you don't use it much, just to recognize those situations so that you don't accidentally air dodge. I'm sorry we're slow with the chat. We're kind of caught up now, but when answering questions, it's hard to answer them fast and also go in depth.
Yep.
Any tricks with Captain Falcon?
Falcon is a fairly straightforward character.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like too many fancy tricks that you wouldn't just buy.
Yeah, you just use like general game mechanics like runewalking and ledge slipping. Like ledge slip stuff is cool with Falcon. Hack stashing. It's cool with Falcon. Yeah, there's not really any. Oh yeah, here's a kind of cool trick with Falcon. You can turn around his Falcon Punch up to 4 times. That would be a good classified as a trick. Like most people know that. Also, another really cool trick. If you knee someone, you can taunt in the middle of the knee, and he says yes. Great trick with Captain Falcon.
One thing that you might not necessarily know if you don't play Falcon too much is that his down air has, I believe it's 3 hitboxes on it.
Yep.
And the top hitbox for his down air is actually a spike instead of a meteor.
Yep. It's called a nipple spike.
It's nipple spike.
Yeah. Alright. I think we're pretty caught up in the questions. Do either you or anybody else you know have really bad calluses on your left thumb? I do not have I do not callus when playing Smash. Maybe because my fingers are already used to it. I don't really know anyone either, though. I have injured my index finger practicing Smash, though, before. What about you?
Yeah, I've never gotten. Well, I've gotten problems like rubbed raw before, but nowhere near as bad as like playing Guilty Gear on a PS2 pad.
Yeah. Damn it, I demand an answer to my question about when Pichu will be added.
No comment.
No comment. There, that's an answer, right?
As an answer, yeah. There you go.
Platform drop, aerial, 1 frame after drop, you land back on the platform. Oh, that is only possible, I believe, when you hit someone, Arcam. I don't think that's possible without hitting someone. But yeah, like, that works with, like, Snake's back air. Or, a couple other moves. But yeah, you can hit someone when falling through a platform, like with Snake's back air. And if you do it fast enough, you'll land on the platform with the back air. I don't think you can do it without hitting someone, though. Do you think that Ivy Swiss down B is the legitimate move? In my opinion, it's just a zero-risk juggling opportunity. What is the reasoning behind the move? I think it's fine for the most part. I mean, it's risky if you use it near your opponent, but yeah, it's not that risky using it when they're above. But Ivysaur is kind of a low-risk character in general, so it sort of fits.
Yeah, I mean, for it to actually have any effect, you need to correctly guess where your opponent's going to be and angle the certain shot accordingly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can do it in situations where your opponent's too close and you get punished, and you could also do it in situations where they're too far away and you don't guess where they're going to be. So
yeah.
It's fairly low risk, but the reward is...
Yeah, it's not like that great of a reward either. How do you moonwalk? I'm so confused. How do you normal controls, or do I need special controls? You do not need special controls. It is just a half circle. The faster... So, you do a half circle towards your character's back. You dash one direction, and then a half circle to your character's back. And you don't even need the half circle, you just need to move this stick from, like, the left to the right, if you're trying to moonwalk right, as fast as possible without crossing the middle. So you can go left, and then immediately, without half circling, just go down to the bottom right, and then do a half quarter circle up as well to moonwalk. I don't do that, I just half circle because it's easier in my head. But, yeah, it's all about speed for moonwalking. You just want to do it really fast. The faster you do it, the better your moonwalk will be. Up until a certain point, there's not like infinite distance on the moonwalk. There's a cap for how good it can be. But, yeah, just practice half circling, basically. You need a dash for it. So just do one dash dance and then start moonwalking. Or start half circling. There's also a trick to do it with the C-stick. PM Depot has it. I don't remember. I really need to go to the bathroom, guys. I'll be right back. Sethlon, answer questions real quick.
Certainly.
I have this gigantic cup of water. I don't know if you guys can see. It's getting to me.
So one of the ways that I explain wave dash to people is by using the numpad notation that like some anime fighters like to use. If you look at your numpad on your keyboard, using that to show what motions you actually do, what you do is you put the control stick, like you press forward, so like 6 on your numpad, and then roll down to 3, 2, 1, and then just do that motion over again, where you hit forward, 3, 2, 1, 6, 3, 2, 1, 6, 3, 2, 1. And if you do it at the right speed, it'll cancel your forward momentum into like that moving back. Why isn't the training stage a professional played stage? I'm guessing you're trying to ask. It's not designed to be a good stage. Like it is much too big. There are no platforms to move around. Obviously, since it's so big, it would probably result in a lot of timeouts just because people can't kill each other in time, and there's so much space to run around on. Let's see. Sethlon, in what situations do you primarily need to wave dash as Roy? So because I can wave dash, I just don't know when to do it. It's useful for various things. Like if you want to, since Roy doesn't have a really great approach game, you can't just jump at someone and shuffle an arrow and expect it to be safe. If you are expecting your opponent to not move in on you, you can wave dash forward and go for spacing like down tilts and forward smashes, and that way it's very useful for, as we mentioned, just running forward and wave dashing back to try to bait things off of your opponent, just wave dashing out of the way so you can forward smash them if they're trying to approach you.
Back.
Welcome back.
Huzzah. Alright. Oh, I could show off the Falcon taunt during me in here.
I suppose you could.
Yes. Oh, it's hard with the D-pad. I think it's only on the sweet spot. Okay. The roof is huge, so it could be a counter pick. No. Training stage is not a good competitive stage. There's a giant wall over here. And it just doesn't play anything like a normal.
Nick Siren asking, they're saying, I've seen videos that say you need to use C-stick / hold down to attack to moonwalk. That's just the frame perfect moonwalks that Hylian mentioned before.
Yeah, that's like a trick to do. Those aren't, like, you can moonwalk perfectly without those. Like, if you see right here, I'm doing frame perfect moonwalks without that trick. So, like, that's just if you don't want to learn the actual tech skill or you aren't as good as it. I'm really good at moonwalking because I hold the controller really weird, so I don't do that. But yeah. Well, look at PM Depot. It's a YouTube channel. It shows you how to do that.
Civilized Yoshi saying, do you think Metal Cavern would be a good replacement for Skyloft? What do you think, Hallie?
Honestly, I have a very, like, different view set on stages than most people, so I don't really like Metal Cavern that much. It's so, like, tilty and janky. I actually like Skyloft a lot more. But, and I also think there are enough really small stages in Yoshi's WarioWare and Fountain of Dreams that, for example, Bowser would counterpick, that adding Metal Cavern just kind of makes it so that you can't ever ban out those small stages, which kind of sucks. So, I don't know. I don't really think so.
I kind of agree with that. I think the stage itself is okay,
yeah,
but because there are already so many stages that are similar to it.
Yeah. That is, yeah, basically what I think. I don't mind playing on that stage. I also like Skyloft, but a lot of places ban Skyloft, so I don't know.
I like Skyloft a lot more than Skyworld.
I do too. Why does everyone ban Skyloft and keep Skyworld legal? I don't understand that.
Yeah. Let's see, T-Gap asking, Sethlon, what are your best kill setups as Sonic? Up throw is definitely one of the best setups. Even if they DI away, as long as you have a stage to run on, you can often catch them. Obviously, if they go up, you can just up airs. Even at higher percents, whenever you can't catch them with a dashing forward air, you can do dashing spin shot forward airs to catch people really far off stage, which is scary because you're vaulting yourself off stage without your double jump, but it will kill them if you succeed. Also landing like the meteor on grounded opponents for forward air sets up for like back airs and neutral airs and up airs that'll kill people.
Goat Link, can you moonwalk to the right as well as you can to the left? I have that issue. I'm definitely better at moonwalking to the right than I am to the left, but I can do a perfect moonwalk left twice, but after that, I can't do it as many times, whereas when I go to the right, I can do it every time perfectly. So yes, that's a problem a lot of people have, but since I can do one perfectly to the left, I don't think it matters, because you never need to do more than one moonwalk, really, I think. Yeah, you only ever really need to do one. So as long as you can do one perfectly both directions, it's fine. And I think we are gonna wrap this up. Questions are dwindling down. Stick around for a sec there, guys. Let me make sure I have the right overlays. Alright. So, thank you guys so much for watching. This was episode 2 of HyliCast. Thanks a lot for coming on, Sethlon.
Oh, of course.
It actually helps a lot, because last time my voice was completely dead at the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just talking non-stop, and being able to stop and drink some water helps. And also you have great insight to the game, being such a good player. Keep an eye out for SK Tara's the next huge tournament coming up. That will be streamed on mlg.tv/VGBootcamp, I'm pretty sure. Check that out. It's going to be awesome. Armada, Professor Pro, Sethlon, Mewtwo King, Rolex. There's that Rolex versus Professor Pro money match, $100 Sneak Ditto. Do you think it's going to win that, Sethlon?
I have no clue.
I don't know either.
I don't know how much experience like Professor Pro has against like the Rolex style of just put bombs everywhere and see what happens.
Yeah.
And like there is not a.
And that matchup seems really volatile. Like, they could mess each other up off grabs really hard, I think.
Yeah, probably.
And juggles. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any more questions for us, Sethlon's Twitter is at Sethlon with a 3 instead of the E. If someone could put that in chat. I think that's it, right?
Yep.
Alright. Yeah. There is Sethlon's Twitter in the chat. My Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube are down there. I do a lot of Smash content and some other games, so please follow. I will do more of these in the future. I try to always keep the topics different. This one was just more community focused. What else was I going to say? I was going to say something important. Oh yeah. Be sure to tune in to Windy City Smash, twitch.tv/Windy City Smash, if one of my mods could put that in. Weird Dash Wednesdays is starting pretty soon. I don't know if they've started yet. I can actually check if they've started yet. And we will raid them if they've started, but I don't think they have. Nope. On that case, just raid this guy. He's pretty good. Raid Zero. He's streaming some PM practice, which is essentially, I do that a lot.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Zero is amazing. One of the best Project M players, period. Go raid him. Tell him Hylian sent you. And thanks for watching, guys. If you have any suggestions for anything, let me know on Twitch, let me know on Facebook, Smashboards, whatever. And you guys have a good day. See you later.
Take it easy.